For as long as I've had a smartphone, I've been an iPhone user, with the exception of 2 months in 2014 when I decided to switch to the S5, and obviously that didn't last long. But recently I had the chance to attend Galaxy Unpacked in San Jose, where they ended up giving me an S24 Ultra to try out. And while I've never been closed-minded when it comes to trying other phones, now I had no excuse not to switch and give it a try. So let me explain to you why, as an iPhone user, I'm giving the S24 Ultra a chance. But first, let's start with the unboxing. Inside the box, you'll find a SIM card tool, USB-C cable, quick start guide, and of course, the S24 Ultra. Which brings us to the design, which is actually something I'm a huge fan of on this year's S24 Ultra. Now, we didn't get to choose our color for the loaner device, but while I did intentionally want the titanium gray, I'm actually a huge fan of the titanium violet. And with that, I'm sure you probably could have guessed by now, but yeah, no more aluminum frame this year, you're getting titanium. I think the most notable changes, however, really come in the form of the flattened screen and sharper edges. And with that comes a pretty much edge-to-edge display, along with a smaller cutout for the front-facing 12 megapixel camera. And I gotta say, the phone feels pretty nice in the hand. While I did end up going with the iPhone 15 Pro over the Pro Max because I preferred the smaller size, I could actually see how you could get used to this form factor over time. And with that being said, let's talk about what you're actually going to be looking at, the screen. Now, for the screen itself, you're going to have pretty much the exact same experience as the S23 Ultra. Both had a 6.8-inch QHD Plus dynamic AMOLED display, and again, you'll see the adaptive 1 to 120 Hz refresh rate. However, you do apparently get a peak rating of 2600 nits on the S24 Ultra. Now, that aside, you should also notice an increase in durability this year thanks to the innovative Gorilla Armor technology. This includes the promise for better scratch resistance, resist against daily wear, and also reflection reduction of up to 75%. And I will say the reflection reduction feature is pretty noticeable. Now, all this being said, time will tell as we use this thing more regularly and see how the scratches look with some heavier use. Now, given I'm not only a content creator, but someone who just generally likes to take a lot of photos and videos, I do think it's worth talking about the camera improvements on the S24 Ultra this year. On the back, you again have a quad camera layout, which includes a 200 megapixel main lens, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel telephoto lens with a 3x optical zoom, and most notably, a native 50 megapixel 5x telephoto lens. And while you may initially think that this is actually a downgrade from last year's 10 megapixel 10x telephoto lens, that's actually not the case. The 50 megapixel lens still allows you to capture that 10x photo, but now it's just at a higher resolution. And I did go ahead and test the camera up against my iPhone 15 Pro, even though I don't have the Pro Max, and these are some of the results. Now, when I was at Unpacked, the real main focus seemed to be on Galaxy AI. And I gotta say, this is probably the section that I also got the most excited about and what really made me notice things that stood out from the iPhone. So of course, with the S24 Ultra, you'll see the integration of Galaxy AI with a couple of very cool features. My personal favorite being the circle to search, which with the help of Google now allows you to circle literally anything and search the web for it within seconds. And you might be asking yourself, isn't this basically the same as Google image search? And you'd be 100% right. But something about not having to screenshot or download a photo, leave the app that you were in, and kill your entire workflow just to move over to Google and search for an image is incredible. I found myself using it a ton when building the new studio, which by the way, we should have a full tour for coming soon, so be sure you're subscribed. But basically, when I'm scrolling and I see an item I like or want to know where to get it, I can literally just hold down on the bottom bar and circle and find whatever that item is within seconds. It's seriously my favorite feature. Now, Galaxy AI is also bringing along a live translate feature, which essentially does what it sounds like and translates text and voice in real time. This will allow you to communicate with people that might speak another language from you on the phone or via text. So no more copy and pasting messages into a translator just to have a conversation. Now it's all done in the app. And look, on top of this, there are so many small AI features across the board, so I'm excited to use this phone as my daily driver for a bit and see which ones I actually end up finding useful on a day-to-day basis. Of course, all of this is powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip for Galaxy. And aside from the obvious that this processor helps support, I imagine we'll see an improvement in a category that everyone cares about, which is battery life. While the S24 Ultra again features a 5000 milliamp battery, I've actually seen claims that the new Snapdragon processor helps to optimize the battery life, giving you a few extra hours over the S23 Ultra on average, which is great. Of course, that being said, I haven't had the chance to actually test this for myself, so I'll follow up on that in a future video. All right, so look, at the end of the day, the S24 Ultra is packed with a ton of features, but as an iPhone user, I'm actually very curious to see how it is switching over to a Samsung phone even with all of those features, if I'll enjoy it. I know I'm gonna miss certain features like iMessage or FaceTime, but I think it's pretty important to step out of my comfort zone and experience all this new tech, especially since I've been given the opportunity. I think there are a ton of interesting phones coming out this year between Samsung, Google, OnePlus, so we might as well break the mold while we can. Anyway, we'll see how long I last with the S24 Ultra. Expect a day in the life with this after I've actually used it for a bit, but besides that, I'll see you guys in the next one.